DNVR, they put out a vlog and it's titled Projecting Colorado's Depth Chart. Deion Coach Prime Sanders has built the buffs in his image. So for this video, we're going to look at the offensive depth chart, and then the next video, we're going to look at the defense. But before I do that, guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe. All that would be greatly appreciated by me. All right, so let's get into this depth chart here. I'm going to start at quarterback. Now, the obvious starter. Now, this depth chart, this is DNVR's depth chart, and I like the depth chart as far as the quarterback position. I agree with it. And let me just say this to be fair. Like I said, it's still early. They're starting their summer conditioning program. There's a lot of conditioning. There's a lot that has to be done in the summer before that final depth chart is made. But this is just, in my opinion, what I think might happen here. Now, we all know the quarterback position is pretty much solidified. Shedeur Sanders is the starter. Now, they have Ryan Staub at number 2, Cason Weissman at number 3 on the depth chart, and Colton Allen at number 4. I agree with that. And I think it's going to stay that way, barring anything, drastic happen. But we all know Shedeur Sanders is the starter. I think Ryan Staub will keep that number 2 spot. Cason Weissman is the incoming freshman. I think next season he's going to bump up, just depending on what Shedeur does if he decides to stay. I honestly believe Shedeur is going to come back for another season. So Shedeur, even next season, he's going to still be the top guy on his team. But as of right now, if they had to play today, the depth chart I agree with right here. Shedeur, Ryan Staub, Cason Weissman, Colton Allen. Let me know what you guys think about that. Now, the running back position, let's go to the running back position. I also agree with this right here. Now, the only thing is Savion Wilkerson is on board now. So I honestly think Savion Wilkerson could be, it depends. I don't know. It's going to be a situational thing, like they said in the article. But right now, Alton McCaskill, he had a really good freshman campaign. He did get hurt, but he has a lot of skills. I watched some of his game footage, and he is game ready. As long as he's healthy and he's ready to go, I honestly think he might be the starter, but we'll see. There's going to be a fight here in this running back depth chart here. Like I said, they're very deep right now. And also Savion Wilkerson is on board now. We did see him at training. So right now, I think Alton McCaskill might be the starter. And then there might be some situations where who's going to be the third down back. If you 4th and inches, who you going to bring in? If you 4th and inches, will you bring in Kavosiey Smoke? Man, I just like his name, Kavosiey Smoke. In my opinion, he might be number 1 for me just because of his name. But he's coming in as a grad student. He has some experience. Alton McCaskill is going into his 2nd season. Dylan Edwards is the freshman. He's a speedster. He has a huge upside. By him being a freshman, he got to work with the team early. They're going to use Dylan Edwards this year. It's going to be situational downs where they're going to need Dylan Edwards, I think. And Anthony Hankerson, I'm not sure, but I know Dylan Edwards, they're going to use him. And now the game kind of changed a little bit because Savion Wilkerson is in the building. So look for him to get some shine as well. So that's the running back position. What do you get? Let me just say, let me see if I'm making this depth chart, if they have to play TCU today, I don't know who I'm going to go with. I need to see more. But it looks like the favorite is Alton McCaskill. Number 2, Kavosiey Smoke. I'm going to go with Savion Wilkerson. Number 3, Dylan Edwards. 4 and 5, I'm going to go with Anthony Hankerson. All right, so let's go on to the wide receivers. So we got 3 slots here, possible 4. It just depends on how they're going to play this offense. So in the first slot here, I guess we can go X, Y, and Zebra. I guess we could do that, X, Y, and Z. And then they're playing the tight end. Let's go with Travis Hunter. Now, Travis Hunter said that he was going to play both sides of the ball. I do agree, if he's playing wide receiver, he's going to get that top slot. But I don't know. If, because it depends. We're going to have to wait and see. Like, is he going to stay on the field the whole game? I don't think so. I think, but it looks like he wants to play wide receiver. Coach Prime did say that he want him to put on 10 pounds. So maybe that's for the wide receiver slot. So I agree with that, having him number one. Javon Antonio, though, he's number one somewhere. Just looking at him already in practice. Like I said, to be fair, I'm just now getting to see what they're doing in practice. We got the whole summer to go, but Javon Antonio, what is he, like 6'4"? Yeah, he's number one slot somewhere. He is number one slot. And Jalen Ellis is also a speedster. So they're going to be using a lot of these wide receivers. Willie Gaines is a speedster. We know Jimmy Horn probably is going to get that top slot in one of those slots. So I agree with Jimmy Horn Jr. and Xavier Weaver. But the thing is, Javon Antonio is looking really good, though. What do you guys think about Javon Antonio chances? The number two slot is fine, but I think he's number one somewhere. It just depends on how they're going to run their offense. Now, I did get a chance to watch Kent State because I wanted to get a feel for the offensive coordinator. And just by looking at that, I honestly think if Javon Antonio keep impressing them like that, he's going to get a number one slot somewhere. And like I said, Jalen Ellis is also a speedster. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. How do you think this first slot is going to go? Let's go on to number two. So they got Jimmy Horn number one. I honestly think over Willie Gaines, they're going to give it to Jimmy Horn. I did see a lot of his highlights, and it's really good. He's electrifying, and I think he's going to be peaking this year. This is going to be a breakout season for Jimmy Horn. Willie Gaines, I can agree that he has that number two slot. He's a speedster. He has experience under Coach Prime, so look out for him. Now, Tavares Dawson, I like him too. Man, they're loaded, man. And Dylan Edwards. It's interesting here. Let's go back. Dylan Edwards, he is going to get some time at wide receiver. I could see them using him in the flat. I could see them doing that as well. All right, so Xavier Weaver, I agree with him having that top slot right there at number three. You got Adam Hopkins, you got Omarion Miller, and Caleb Mathis. I think Omarion Miller goes up to number two. I could be wrong, but what say you? Caleb Mathis, he's a freshman. He got a huge upside. Let me just say this about Caleb Mathis. He has a huge upside because he's a great route runner. Okay, he works hard. Eventually, he's going to get that top spot if he stay at Colorado long enough. Look for good things. He's only going to get stronger. He's only going to get bigger. He's only going to mature. He's definitely going to have that top spot at some point. I don't know about this season, but I think in situational type downs, they could use Caleb Mathis at some point. Some people said that they may redshirt him, but I haven't heard anything about redshirting him. But I agree with the depth chart so far, man, with the offense. Let's go on to the tight end position. I have heard some good things about Louis Passarello. I've heard that he's having a great offseason, getting his body together. And I honestly agree that he does get that top spot at tight end. I don't know too much about Elijah Yeverton. And Caleb Faria and Eric Olsen. I do know Eric Olsen is he's really about 6'4", 6'5". He's a pretty big tight end. I think he might go up to number 3 or 2. But you guys let me know. I don't know. I don't have too much data on them, but I know Louis Passarello I've been watching, and they are very impressed with him from what I hear. All right, so let's go on down to the trenches. We know that it's very important. Now, this is where it's very important. We already know that Shedeur is working with the wide receivers. We already know what they're going to do. Now, Shedeur needs protection. Okay? They need protection here. This is where you can make or break a team, is in the trenches. At the left tackle spot, I agree. That's Tank. You cannot teach size. He is a big man. He is like one of the biggest in college football. I think he's 6'10". And so I agree with him being at that left tackle position. Let me just say this for him. All you got to do is be aggressive, 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 aggressive. You know, summer conditioning, come into that first game against TCU in the best shape of your life. And you should be able to keep that left tackle position for the rest of the season. And Kareem Harden at number 2. Let's go on to right tackle. Savion Washington, I agree with, coming over from Kent State. He's another big offensive lineman. And you need big guys, smart guys, discipline, how Coach Prime say it. You need that in that right tackle, left tackle position. Then let me see something, left tackle. So Shedeur is right-handed. So yeah, he's going to, Tank is going to be his lifeline because, you know, that blind side. So you need somebody you could trust. So I agree with Tank staying at that left tackle position. And we already know Savion Washington has that right tackle position. Now, what's interesting is in the interior. The center, I'm going to go with Van Wells. Now, Jack Bailey, he said in an interview that he has experience playing all interior, even center. And I'm going to go with Van Wells for center. Jack Whitty at number 2. Right guard, I'm going to go with Jack Bailey at number 1. He has a lot of experience. He has 2 coaches. His offensive line coach came over from Kent State. He has a lot of, he has a good relationship with Jack Bailey. Jack Bailey is following him over. I think he has that number 1 spot at the right guard position. At the left guard position, I'm gonna go with Rock. I'm gonna go with Tyler Brown. He's a transfer in from Jackson State. I like him right there at left guard. And Van Wells at center. Jack Whitty number 2. Reggie Young number 2 at the left guard spot. So Isaiah Jota, the right tackle, I agree with him at number 2. Now this is subject to change. It's just, like I said, it just depends on how the season go. Landon Beebe is at number 1 right now, but I'm going with Jack Bailey. I'm going with Jack Bailey the whole season at that number 1 spot. And it's Jack Bailey did an interview recently, and he said that the coach, he doesn't like to waver off of his starting 5. He likes to keep it that way. So whoever going to be these number 1 starting 5, they're going to be the starters for the remainder of the season, barring any injuries. But Jack Bailey said that he could play any interior position. He could play right guard, he could play center, he could play left guard. So look for him to be number 1 somewhere. Tyler Brown looks good. He's a good, big, strong guy. He's putting in the work. He's really grinding. I think he's going to start. But that's my thoughts so far on the offense. I am going to come back and we're going to go over the defense later. But I like that DNVR put out this depth chart. And the only thing is they didn't mention Savion Wilkerson. And to be fair, they didn't really announce it or anything. We just saw him in practice. But Savion Wilkerson at that running back position, I think he's going to move to number 2 or 3. But we'll see. We'll see. But what do you guys think? Drop a comment below. I would like to hear from you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Guys, I'll be back with the defense. All right, guys. Peace.